Hello everyone, this is Poorly Drawn Randomness, and today we're going to be talking about football. Nope, that's the wrong one. The American one. Yeah, that's better. As an ex-football player and avid NFL viewer, I'd say I'm pretty good at explaining the rules of football. First things first though, Poorly Drawn Randomness prioritizes safety first. Football is a very dangerous sport, so naturally the players look like fully armored knights out there. But now that's out of the way, let's go over the basics. There are 11 players on each team on the field at all times, so 2 teams of 11 makes 22 total players on the field. And now to everyone's favorite part of football, offense. The goal of the offense is to score either by catching and running or just running the ball into the other side of the field, also known as the end zone. Most times you don't make it all the way to the end zone. You get what we call tackled. This is when a defender or defenders manage to bring you down. You're considered down when your knees touch the ground. You're also considered down when you get pushed back further than you got. The ball is considered dead at the point where you got the furthest. To make it easier for the offense, the field goes by intervals of 10. Think of these as checkpoints. There is a first down, second down, third down, and fourth down. The downs are always categorized as the down it is and how far away it is from the next first down. For example, I run and gain 2 yards on a first down. The officials will call it 2nd and 8 because my team has 2 more tries to get it 8 more yards for the next first down. Getting a first down is called converting. The side quest of the offense is to get past the initial 10 yards. For example, I'm a quarterback and it's 1st and 10. I drop back 7 yards and get tackled there. So now it'll be 2nd and 17. So the next play could be called 3rd and 13 or 4th and 56 for all the football world cares. The first down doesn't move back for the offense if they get tackled for a loss. If the offense doesn't get another first down within the first, second, or third down, they usually have an option to punt or go for it on 4th. But if they fail to convert on a 4th down, the ball is now in the hands of your opponent. But most teams usually punt on a 4th down. The offense would always go for a field goal, but we're limited to human muscle and the environment. But say you do make a field goal, you get 3 points. But punting is when you try to kick it as far away from your own end zone as possible. The punt returner will try to get a touchdown, but your team will try to tackle them beforehand. You may be asking yourself, why don't they always go for it on a 4th down? And I say, it's because teams usually don't want 15 yards between the football and their own end zone. Think of it as breathing room for the defense. If the offense successfully gets the football into the opponent's end zone, the offense gets 6 points. Hooray. It's called a touchdown. Options after a touchdown usually include kicking a field goal for 1 point through the goalpost, or lining up 5 yards and recreating a touchdown for 2 points. Guess what it's called? A 2-point conversion. Congratulations. They both have their pros and cons. Field goals being that it's really easy to make but only give you 1 point, and 2-point conversions being harder to make but giving you 2 points. After any score, the scoring team has 2 options. Either onside kick the ball or kick the ball regularly. Onside kicking is not usually used unless it's a last-ditch effort, say at the end of a game, to get possession of the ball right after your team just had it. After the ball goes 10 yards, it's free game for whoever. Regular kickoffs are just like punts, but just stuck into the ground, if that makes sense. Like punts, there is a returner, and the kicking team has to usually tackle them before they reach the end zone. The receiving team also has to block for the returner to make it easier for them to get a touchdown. We are all humans. We make mistakes. Here are some mistakes that the offense makes sometimes. It's called turnovers on most instances. There are fumbles, which basically means the player drops or gets the ball stripped out of their grasp before their knees hit the ground. And there are interceptions where the defense catches the ball instead of the offense. In fumbles and interceptions, the defense can run away with the ball and potentially score a touchdown until they are tackled by the offense. There are safeties, which happen when you get tackled in your own end zone. The opposing team gets 2 points and you have to punt the ball to them. Or turnovers on down, which happens when the offense fails to get a first down in 4 tries. Now let's talk about the defense. The goal of the defense is to prevent the aforementioned offense from scoring. Obviously. They do this by either making sure they don't convert a first down so the offense has to punt it away, or achieving the previously mentioned turnover, fumbles, safeties, interceptions, etc. There's a pretty cool thing that defenders can do as well. It's called sacking the quarterback. It's when the defenders tackle the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage, which is the line where the play started, for a loss of yards. They can do this to any player, but then it wouldn't be called a sack. It would be called tackle for loss. The next thing that the defense can do is called blitzes. This is when the defense sends more than the usual 4 players to try to sack the quarterback. These are usually linebackers, but defensive backs can also get included in this. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the defensive formations. These are man-to-man coverage and zone coverage. As the name implies, it basically just means that the defender has to cover one specific zone or area of the field. Man-to-man coverage is basically just stick to your man like glue and prevent him from catching the ball. There's usually an extra person to double team if that person that you're guarding is too good. Next up, we're going to be talking about penalties. The first one is called roughing the passer, which means that you're just being too mean to the quarterback, and same thing goes with the kicker. The next one is intentional grounding, where the quarterback just throws the ball to like Narnia. Chop blocking is intentionally just going for someone's knees. Oh god, this one hurts so bad. False starting is just starting too early, obviously. The face mask penalty is where you use a person's face mask to gain leverage over them. Pass interference is when a DB holds on to a receiver that makes it impossible for them to catch. Also goes vice versa. A block in the back is basically where you just shove someone in the back and they fall forward. Holding is where you just hug someone too tight so they can't get around you. Delay of game is going over the allotted time of 25 seconds to start a play. Excessive celebration is just to protect people's feelings. Alright, lastly, we're going to talk about all of the positions. And we begin with offense again. The quarterback is the main signal caller and the heartbeat of the offense. They are the main distributor of the ball. The running back, as you can guess, runs the ball and can also catch as well block for the quarterback. The wide receiver mainly catches the ball, but like a running back, they can also run the ball. The offensive linemen keep the quarterback alive and make sure that the quarterback doesn't get hurt by the defense. The fullback is like a hybrid between offensive lineman and running back. They're a dying breed, but they usually block for the running back. The tight end is like a hybrid between offensive lineman and wide receiver. They are good at catching and they are good at blocking. Next, we go over to the defense. The defensive line is the first line of defense to try to tackle the quarterback or tackle the running back before the play can even get started. The defensive ends usually try to sack the quarterback or contain the running back for a tackle for a loss. Defensive tackles are just big boys that use their big bodies to plug up the holes of the offensive running lanes. The defensive backfield is usually full of fast and agile players who can cover that are usually the last line of defense. The quarterback's job is to keep up with the wide receiver and slap or intercept the ball if the ball is thrown to them. Safeties are the last line of defense. There are free safeties who are quick and agile that typically acts as another corner, and strong safeties who are big boys who can make big hits. There are also nickelbacks who act as a hybrid between safeties and corners. Next up are the concussion boys, also known as linebackers. They stand in between the defensive line and the safeties. Middle linebackers are like the captains of the defense and keep them in check. Middle linebackers can cover tight ends and also stop the run. Outside linebackers are basically like DNs, but they can also cover the edges of the field. These are the guys that are usually sent on blitzes. Lastly, we acknowledge the forgotten part of football, the special teams. Long snappers snap the ball to the placeholder so that the kickers can kick the ball. Punters just try to kick the ball as far away from their own end zone as possible. Kickers try to kick the ball through the goalpost to either make 1 point or 3 points. Returners aren't really a specific position, but rather many positions such as running backs, maybe wide receivers who are just placed there to return. Here are some of my personal NFL accolades. Most handsome, Jimmy G. Most friendly looking NFL player, Cody Mauch. Funniest NFL player, George Kittle. Most goddamn buff one out there, Myles Garrett. Had to get drug tested after this picture. Built like nails player, Phillip Rivers. He literally played with a torn ACL. Alright, this was Poorly Drawn Randomness, and I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. Comment on what I should do next. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.